everyone, I'm Kara Sundlin. Let's take a look at this day in Connecticut history. 1 year ago, on February 14th, 2021, we were digging out from back-to-back storms. Dennis Valera had the story.
For days, long lines have filled the Elm City streets around Gateway Terminal, hoping to get at least one load of salt. Even after waiting more than 5 hours, some got turned away with no salt. Well, that's a blow in itself.
It's costing us an extra $90 to get there and an extra $90 back.
Rick Whittle with Allied Snow Removal in Stonington says it adds up having to drive to New Haven, not to mention wait.
Then we wait in line for a minimum of 2 hours. There's another $180. So it's costing me an additional $360 per load.
He has 10 salt stockpiles to fill for his fleet.
After each event, each pile needs 2 loads. So that basically costs me an extra $720 per pile to refill, which is about $7,200 per snow event.
Given Allied is one of the biggest contractors for the state, Whittle says the added cost will end up on taxpayers. He, like many others, points to the closure of the new London Port salt storage operations as the root of the problem, now forcing 90% of contractors in the state to rely on the pile in New Haven. Whittle feels there should be room at the new London Port for salt, even with the new wind turbine development.
Nothing short of a complete disaster.
Gateway Terminal in a statement said despite the significant increase in demand, there's enough salt for the season. They're asking people to plan ahead to accommodate delays.
5 years ago, unlike the labor shortage of today, there was a hiring freeze at state universities. This was our report with Roger Suzanen.
Students we spoke with at CCSU don't have any problem telling you what they like best about college life.
Just the freedom, I guess, and having your own responsibilities. It's kind of nice.
Meeting new people, coming here, trying to new experiences and everything.
But there is plenty of confusion about the recent hiring freeze here at CCSU and the 16 other Connecticut state colleges and universities.
It's incredibly frustrating.
The system president says the freeze is necessary because of the projected $25 million budget cut for the next fiscal year. But students say it's unfair that they're being impacted by an issue outside their control.
If we pay our tuition to the full, I think the problem should get solved. It's not us causing the problem. If we pay our tuition, why can't they get the problem solved?
Students worry the hiring freeze could impact the quality of their education, even though they're stuck paying more and more just to stay enrolled.
We've had tuition increases for how many consistent semesters. It continues to go up. So it becomes frustrating for a lot of students like myself.
The impacted schools include Central, Eastern, Southern, and Western Connecticut state universities, plus a bunch of community colleges. Students just hope the adults making the decisions figure something out.
I hope that the school will try to find some solutions to this issue.
10 years ago, supporters were trying to stop the deportation of a man caught up in post-9/11 difficulties. Take a look.
The effort to head off the deportation of Suhitno Sujuti began shortly after he was taken into custody by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency in December. He is presently being held at an eastern Massachusetts detention facility.
Well, we're saying this is not a criminal. This is a person who's not committed any crime. This is a person who's not a terrorist. This is a person who's not running drugs. This is a person who's a community leader. He's a teacher. He's an activist. He cares about the community. He's been here for 25 years. He was invited by the United States originally.
Mr. Sujuti was invited to the U.S. by the U.S. Aid Agency to pursue graduate studies at UConn. Following 9/11 in 2002, he complied with a special registration but was ordered to deport voluntarily. But he didn't leave, hoping to clarify his visa status. His case was either ignored or lost for 8 years.
Let's not spend our energy enforcing immigration law around people like this. Let's go after the people that we need to be concerned about that are going to harm us in some way.
Supporters of Mr. Sujuti note that the Obama administration directed the agency last year to focus on terrorists and criminals rather than on law-abiding people who, as his supporters say, in the case of Mr. Sujuti, have been tutoring students in religious studies, GED, and college preparation courses.
His options, there's only really one option, which is that ICE grants discretion, that they say, you know what, we're not going to proceed because his attorney can't file any more appeals. He can't do anything else within the system.
And that's today in Connecticut history.